Actually, you're not hearing me well. Maybe you're now. Let's go again. So welcome back to the channel, guys. If this is the first time we're meeting, my name is Oliver, and on this channel we talk about education and early career development, specifically here in Finland. So if you are new here, do consider subscribing. Welcome to the second live stream of this channel. As you can see, there's a bit of challenges here, technical glitches, microphones not being on. So during this stream, I would really like to get your feedback either in the chat or through a Google sheet that I have. I'm sorry, Google form that I have in the description box below. Before we start the Q&A and get into some of the discussion and questions that you guys might have about studying in Finland, I thought that I would shortly talk a bit about the videos that I have been publishing this week, basically around the theme of remote studying, especially now in the upcoming semester, fall semester of 2020. First of all, the semester is starting next week in Finland, so the first week of September. I'm sure that some of you guys are already in Finland, but for those of you who are not yet in Finland, who are maybe not coming to Finland at the start of the semester, rather you're working from home, there's a couple of things that I really want to go through here before we get started with the Q&A. So first of all, a couple of things, a couple of ways how remote studying is actually different from in-person classes that we are used to normally. So of course, as I've spoken about in previous videos, most lectures and exams are of course held online. This also applies to a lot of personal tutoring as well as group exercises, and it is difficult, especially considering that teachers are pretty new at this. Professors haven't got that much experience in remote teaching. Of course, they have learned quite a lot during the last 6 months, but there's still quite a lot to learn. In addition, a lot of students, especially in Finland, aren't used to learning online, and there's a couple of things that are basically lacking. And the first one is the lack of interaction. So interaction is pretty much super low compared to a normal situation where we would be sitting in a classroom. And this actually has quite a lot of impact on a lot of students. Of course, we Finns, you will most likely get to know us better at a later date, but we Finns, we're pretty quiet, even normally. And we don't usually like to ask questions during the class from the professor, maybe because people are afraid of asking dumb questions. This gets even worse when we're studying online, because when you're online, there's really no pressure for you to ask questions. A lot of people are doing other things while listening to the lecture, and the overall level of interaction is just lower. This, of course, means that you really need to start learning new study habits. You need to start learning more. You have to learn routines. You have to build systems for yourself to keep yourself motivated to study as hard as normally, so that you can actually pass all of your courses and get high enough grades to get employed, especially in the first years of your studies. For me, it's been pretty hard because I absolutely hate studying from home. There's too many distractions. I've always been at the campus. And for me, especially, the difference between in-person and online classes has been quite drastic. Of course, one of the good things about online classes and remote classes is that the classes are recorded and they're uploaded to the cloud into university study portals. This is one of the really great things about online classes, and I really hope, I'm sure that I'm not the only one. I really hope that schools in Finland and around the world take this habit and bring it to their normal system after we are all through with the current situation. Having the recordings of your lectures has a lot of different pros. First of all, you can always go back to the lecture and just skim through everything that was said. And especially for me, as a person who struggles, for example, with mathematical courses, it makes studying for me just much, much easier because I can always go back and do better notes and try to understand some things that I missed during the live lecture. This is actually something that was already done in Germany, something that I experienced in Munich when I was doing my exchange studies there during the summer of 2016, and I thought that that was one of the best things about their university system. One more thing that is different from normal is basically that exams are done online. This is a couple of things that really you guys need to understand. First of all, doing them online means that you are completely dependent on your own technology. If your internet connection breaks during the exam, that's your fault. The university cannot do anything about it because they have to be fair and square to every single student. So you really have to make sure that you have good connection, your technology works, you are able to get to the portals before the exams start. And this is especially true for Mac users because some of the exam systems that are used online don't work as well with Mac OS as with Windows. So just make sure that you have all things sorted out before your first exams. The second thing is that exams are extremely hard when done online. There's a couple of reasons here. First of all, most of the exam portals or the systems that we use do not support a wide range of, for example, files. They don't support you being able to upload, for example, Word files or maybe entire Excel files to the system, and they don't allow you to scan your handwritten notes to the portal. This means that usually the exam questions are simpler, but they're way more strict, and even the smallest mistake can actually get you 0 points in the exam. A couple of examples that we had just a month or two ago, basically the entire exam for one course consisted of 8 questions, and they were basically mathematical questions that which if you wanted to pass them, you needed to understand basically different concepts and different equations from multiple different lectures at the same time, which meant that if you didn't understand one of them, you wouldn't be able to pass the assignment because you needed all of those contents to get the correct answer. Normally, in Finland, if you at least start getting somewhere and you start writing the correct, but maybe you make a small mistake or maybe you don't remember the last step in the equation or in the calculation, you would still get some points. But in online exams, you basically just need the final answer. And that means that if you forgot that one concept that you would need to finalize your assignment, you would fail. This means that it's just so much harder to pass exams online. The second reason why online exams are extremely difficult compared to normal exams is that professors are aware that you are able to use different tools, for example, Google, or in mathematical courses, for example, Excel, or from other people who are sitting next to them. This is why they are making the exams really hard. And for example, mathematical courses aren't necessarily easier just because you have someone who is really good at math sitting next to you, because they don't know what has been taught during the course. And this means that you're not able to cheat your way through online exams like you maybe thought that you could. Right. So that's kind of those are the different thought that you could. Right. So that's kind of those are the different ways that online classes and courses are different from normal. There's both pros and cons about this. First of all, of course, pros: studying from home can be more flexible. As I mentioned, I hate it. For me, it's actually a con because I like to go to the campus because it gets me into a certain mood, and I'm able to follow a certain timetable and agenda that has been set to me by the course timetables. When I'm at home, it's really hard to find motivation and focus, and I'm distracted by unwashed dishes, or maybe I would need to vacuum a bit, or maybe my PlayStation, I haven't touched it for a while. So there's all these small things that really try to distract me all the time from my schoolwork. The second pro about doing online classes, which is really cool, is that of course you save a lot of time in commuting. I've mentioned in my previous Finland are really close to the campus. Some are closer, some are a bit further away. And if you, for example, have to commute for 40 minutes each way, so an hour and a half approximately per each day, that means that you save quite a lot of time, or you're able to sleep a bit more, you're able to sleep later if you want to. Of course, some people again want to be at the campus and they don't mind the commuting. Second thing or third thing is that you can of course set up your workspace however you want. One of the problems that they don't have enough electrical plugs, or it's really hard to get water, or I don't have a coffee machine next to myself, which means that you are of course not able to work as flexibly as you would normally be able to. On the other hand, for example, I like working in a library because there's no distractions, there's no coffee machines, which makes me more efficient in my work. But this is also good to take into account. Then pros, as I mentioned, all the classes are recorded and uploaded in the course portals. A couple of cons. First of all, for some people, working from home is much harder, as I mentioned, because of all of the distractions, and it's harder to find motivation to work from there. Some people are better at this, and for example, my girlfriend is much better at working from home compared to working from the campus. And she actually has seen excellent results and a bump in her grades because she has been working from home during the last 6 months. So I guess it's personal. Another con is that you're dependent on your technology. Not only, of course, your internet connection, but the fact that if you're, for example, a student in the arts, you're a 3D modeler, you have a lot of really hard coding to do, you might have to buy a new computer if you're not able to access school technology, the computers at the campus. So, for example, at Aalto University, we have really good computers and different technology that we use day to day, especially certain students, like students in engineering and arts. And they are not necessarily able to access them, at least not as freely as normally. Normally, we would have 24/7 access to a lot of the tools and a lot of the workshops that we have at the campus. Nowadays, it's not as easy as before. So just taking this into account as well. The third thing is that quality of the courses has gone down somewhat. This is completely natural, and it's mostly dependent on the experience that the professors have or the lack of experience. It's going up all the time, and they're really putting a lot of effort into it. But it's just good to know that there is a certain there is a limit to the quality on online classes, and it most likely will never get to the same level as what we have in person teaching. One more thing from a financial perspective, actually, it's you don't get to eat student lunch every single day. Most of student restaurants are open normally at the campus, but if you're not commuting to the campus, you're not able to utilize it. This can actually cost you quite a lot of money because the student lunch is so cheap that if you, for example, go to the grocery store and just cook yourself, it can easily be more expensive per meal than eating at the campus. So if you want to save money by eating, take this into account and go to the campus and eat there, and then just commute back and forth every single day. Most importantly, the biggest con, I'm sure that especially those of you guys who have already arrived into Finland have noticed that there is a lack of social aspect. In Finland, student culture and student activities are in the core of everything, and it is extremely unfortunate that it's not going to be the same for this semester at least than normally. However, I would not worry because, in my experience, students in Finland are pretty good at doing rebound effects, meaning that when the current situation passes and everything calms down, most student organizations and unions are most likely going to have a party of a lifetime and basically try to uh, balance the accounts by having a huge party uh, um, with everyone involved. So these are the things that I think that you really need to understand about the current situation. I would say that you should not worry. Of course, everyone around the world is in the same situation, and the more we work on keeping ourselves healthy and not trying to spread the current situation, the better we're going to be as a collective. And I really hope that you're still going to be able to enjoy your studies this semester and the next as well. At this point, I think there's enough people for us to start answering some of the questions that you guys have. If you have just joined us, please, if you have any questions, I actually have a Google form in the description box below. And I would really prefer that you guys post your questions, because then I'm able to answer them in a first come, first serve basis. During the last stream, the live chat got quite busy at one point, and I wasn't able to answer all of the questions from there. So if you post your question in the form, which is linked below, I will certainly be able to answer your question, at least quite promptly. All right, let's see. Do we have our first question? Cool. We have our first question from Laura, who is coming to study at Aalto. And her question is, hi, I know that you have some secondhand shops where I can buy furniture for my bedrooms, since almost all apartments come unfurnished. That is correct. Do you know if these shops have home delivery? I'm from Spain, and if I travel to Helsinki, I'll have to do 2 weeks of quarantine, and I won't be able to go shopping for furniture. That is actually a really good question. Unfortunately, I do not know the answer to that question. If you are not yet aware of the different secondhand shops, especially in the Helsinki region, let me just pull out my the video where I talked about this topic. So one place that I would really recommend that you check out is the Helsinki Reuse Center, Kierrätyskeskus in Finnish. They operate in Helsinki region. I would guess that if someone has home delivery, that would be them. I'm not completely sure, but you could check that out or call them, for example. I will have the link in the live chat for you. The second place to check out is Reuse and Rescue, which is a student-run recycling center, which is located in the Aalto University campus at Otaniemi, or in Otaniemi. They have quite a lot of stuff that, for example, exchange students have left in Finland, and it should be really cheap and really nice to use. So I would definitely recommend you check that out as well. Cool. Then we have a question from hello in the chat. Do you expect 2021 spring semester in Finland will be online? Since I'm a foreigner, I know nothing about realistic situation in Finland, and I'm wondering your opinion about this. I want to be quite there is a growing number of cases that we have in Finland, and the problem is that as long as there is no vaccination, I'm not sure when the situation is going to level completely. I really hope that the spring semester is not going to be done online. I really, really hope. Not ruined, but you guys are going to lose quite a lot of the out of the experience. But of course, who knows? It's impossible to say at this point. I want to be optimistic. Let's say it this way. Bishes asked, can I reject my admission after deferring admission? That is a good question. I don't know. I really recommend that you contact the university admission services. Usually the emails are the following format: admissions at the university.fi. So for example, admissions at alto.fi. I have no idea if this is possible. It might depend on the university itself or the school itself. I would guess yes, but again, contact the university just to make sure. What's up, Ismail? Hope you're live still. I know that my initial rant took a while, but what's up? It's really cool to see you two here as well. Fletch, awesome to see the old school guys here as well. Welcome back. And Young and Devesh, what's up as well. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the chat or in the Google form that I have in the description box below. I would love to have a chat with you guys and answer any of your questions if you have anything about studying. It doesn't have to be about the current situation or the online studies, especially now that we don't have that many people in the stream. Also, let me know what you're drinking right now, if you are drinking anything at all. Finland has quite strict alcohol laws, so I'm going to say that this is apple juice that I'm drinking, which is making me... What's up, Brian? Cool. You got a question. Please let me hear it. While Brian is writing his question in the chat, I would really like to know what is your situation currently in your home country, considering the bleep situation at this time. It's really hard to get a concrete or good picture, especially here in Finland, because we're living in such a bubble, especially at this time. Shiam is drinking water. Ismail, cheers. Cheers. Right, Brian. Is the course registration available after semester starts? Yes, it is. Depending on the course, there might be a limited number of seats, which means that there is more. You need to register to the course as fast as you can, because when the seats are full, then you will not be able to get into that course that time. Especially with courses that run only twice or once per year, that is really important that you sign up early enough. However, many, especially math lectures in the beginning of your studies, you can basically sign up even a couple of weeks into the course. Sign up through the portal. Most universities use WebAudi for course registration. If you are not for some reason able to register to a course, just contact your professor directly via email and ask him or her if you would be able to join the course afterwards. They're extremely flexible most of the time, especially when you don't have a limit to the people who are able to join the course. One thing to take into account in this topic is that if you have a course that is that has prerequisites, so so basically you have to have some courses done before you can register to that one. The professors are more likely to reject your registration, but I would not ask for permission ever. Basically, rather you should always register, and if they kick you out, then that's fine. But if you ask for permission, for example, if you're going to a master's course and you're still doing your bachelor's, they're most likely going to say that no, you cannot come here. But if you just get yourself into the class and try to stay as keep low profile, it is highly likely that they're going to let you stay there. At least this is my experience. Cool, Brian, just go ahead. Leave all the questions that you have. Fire away. Meanwhile, we have a question from Arthur. Hey, nice to see you again here. Great to have you here live. Hey, Oliver, how are you doing? I'm doing fine, actually. Thank you very much. I'm drinking apple juice. Cheers. It's been a long day. Funny thing, I'm actually resigning from my day job next Tuesday, or my contract is going to be terminated next Tuesday, and I'm going to start working on YouTube full time, which is completely for which I'm very thankful for you guys, because the fact that you guys watch my videos has allowed me to work with different brands and organizations, which will allow me from next Tuesday onwards to actually jump working on this channel full time. So thank you very much. If I'm a citizen from a EU country, do I need to get any permission to live, stay, and work in Finland for a long period of time? Thanks. For a long period of time, I don't think so. If I'm completely correct, you don't need to get a permission to live, stay, or work in Finland as a European Union citizen. However, what you need to do is that you need to register your right of residence as a EU citizen. I have a video about this topic in the channel. I do not have a direct tutorial or instructions on how to register. But if you just Google register the right of residence EU in Finland, you should get results from the Finnish Immigration Service, which is the abbreviation is MIGRI, MIGRI, and they have very concrete steps on how to do this. Hope that helped you with this issue. Arthur is also drinking water. You're all sober. That's funny. Of course, I would need to drink quite a lot of apple juice to get myself to feel happy. Yeah, I know. Brian, you're welcome. Shim, you have a question? Cool. Just a second, I'll pull it out. So, Shim is, by the way, if I'm pronouncing any one of your names incorrectly, we actually found out a funny way to make me learn, which is to follow me on Instagram. You can send me a DM, a audio file where you tell me how to pronounce your names, because you guys come from all around the world, and I would really like to get to know you better, including knowing how to pronounce your names properly. So I've been following you for 2 years. Awesome. That's really cool to hear. Glad to have you here. I'm currently studying my bachelor's in India. Excellent. I've seen most of your videos, and I am planning to do my master's in Finland. Please explain briefly the admission requirements and tuition fees and cost of living for Aalto University. Especially for a middle-class Indian like me, it's difficult to afford studies abroad. I am good at academics. Please help me find a suitable scholarship. Excellent. This is a really good question. I will try to hit as many of the topics as I am able to hit here live. So basically, when you're applying to Aalto University, the tuition fees do not depend on the degree program itself. A lot of universities in Finland have different tuition fees for different programs, and Aalto University is one of the only ones that have consistent tuition fees all across the board. The only difference is between bachelor's and master's degrees, and of course, since you're doing a master's degree, or you would be doing a master's degree, that is a different case for you. Just let me see. So the tuition fees for all Aalto University master's degrees are 15,000 euros per academic year. There are a couple of separate programs that have different tuition fees, but those are usually collaborations between Aalto University and another international university. So if you want to apply for a master's that is taught only at Aalto, that means 15,000 euros a year. However, talking about scholarships, Aalto University has a couple of different scholarships that you should aim for. First of all, how to apply for scholarships. Excuse me. When you apply to the degree program itself, the same form that you fill out has a checkbox basically that asks, would you like to apply for university scholarships at this specific program? You check it, and that means that you apply to the scholarships provided by Aalto University itself. So briefly, in Finland, scholarships, the clear majority of scholarships in Finland are provided by the universities themselves, and there are a very limited amount of extra scholarships or grants that you could apply for example, from foundations. Most of these extra grants are for PhD students because a lot of foundations want to support research. So the best bet is to apply for these university scholarships. Aalto University has two types of tuition fee waivers, which means basically if you're granted a tuition fee waiver, you get a discount on your tuition fee. If you get the tuition fee waiver, that applies to your degree, to the normative time that you would be doing your degree. So for a master's degree, you would get a discount for 3 years of studies. So two different types of tuition fee waivers. Number one is 50%, and number two is 100%. And these are usually dependent. These are usually granted on the basis of who is the best applicant for that specific program, and the requirements for each degree program at Aalto University depends a bit on the program itself. So the application process is a bit different. You might have to do SATs, for example. If you are applying for arts and design, you have to do a couple of arts assignments. And this means that your application is graded in a different way, and it depends on the program itself, right? However, the best students will get a 100% tuition fee, which means that you don't have to pay tuition at all. Super important to note that this does not cover any living costs, and it doesn't cover your, for example, rent. So you would still have to pay for your rent and living costs, which in my approximation are around 800 euros, the median costs for a student in Helsinki or in the Helsinki region. So those are the scholarships. Right, the admission requirements, that is the only thing that I really cannot say here live because I would need to know which program you are interested in. I would recommend that you go and check out the different program options that you have at Aalto University. I can try to look up the direct link for you in just a while. But once you find a program that you like, you can, for example, DM me on Instagram, and I will find the requirements for you. So I hope this helps. Cool. All right. So hope that this was of this gave you some value. If it did, uh, guys, remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Also, especially the older subscribers, if you could please give this video or live stream thumbs up and maybe share it with a friend who is also applying to study in Finland. By giving it a thumbs up and being active in the comment section, you will give YouTube a signal that this is a valuable live stream and you guys actually are learning something, which means that YouTube is going to push it to more people, and that is going to help all of us because we get more questions. I get to answer more questions, and hopefully I would be able to answer, get you more value, give you more value, in short. Cool. We have next question in the form comes from Jaw. Welcome back, my friend. I got your message on Instagram. Thank you very much. Hey Oliver, glad to be here at the live stream again. It is great to have you here again. So I have a little random question. Are there ski places in Helsinki or near the city that I could go without a car? Unfortunately not. The southern part of Finland is pretty flat. The closest ski centers to Helsinki are an hour and a half of a drive away, but the problem is that those places usually get snow quite late, so usually only after Christmas or New Year's. Then on the other hand, the best ski resorts in Finland are actually quite far away. If you haven't noticed it, if you haven't looked this up in Google Maps, Finland is actually a really big country. Geographically speaking, Finland is the same size as Germany. We are quite more narrow, but we're extremely tall. I think Finland is 1,100 kilometers, 1,200 kilometers tall or so, which means that it's a full day's drive if you want to get to the best ski resorts in Lapland, basically, or in the northern part of Finland. Awesome. Also, guys, this is the second live stream. In the first one, we had a bit of problems with the microphone. I basically sounded like a Muppet, and I would really like to hear if the audio is better quality this time. I tried to set the settings a bit better. Also, I would really love to get feedback. All of the feedback you guys give me either through the description, through the form that I have linked in the description box below, or in the live chat will help me make this live stream better and get you more value in the future as well. For those of you who just joined us, welcome to the second live stream of this channel. If this is the first time we're meeting, my name is Oliver, and I'm a master's student at Aalto University. I'm actually doing my master's thesis right now in business, and I should be graduating in the next few months. On this channel, we talk about education and early career development, specifically here in Finland. So if you're new here, do consider subscribing. Also, for those of you who just joined us, there is a link to a Google form in the description box below. If you have a question, I would prefer if you could please write your question through the form, because that means that I'm able to see them easier and answer all of your questions in a first come, first serve basis. The chat is becoming quite busy right now, and it's really difficult for me to see all of your questions, so I might miss something. Anyhow, Brian has a second question. He's saying, I'm actually an exchange student this semester. Can I join the course in January, February? I know this is the next semester, but what I mean is just as a participant, not officially. I don't think so. Unless you are physically present in Finland and the courses are done physically in person, I highly doubt it. Especially if the courses are done online, they need you to have an active student profile, and you need to be registered as an attending student in one of the universities in Finland. So if you are an exchange student in Finland this upcoming semester, you most likely will not be able to attend any courses during the spring. Right. Okay. You confirmed. The person in charge at Aalto said I cannot register the courses in 4 courses in January and February, even though I will stay longer because my exchange period will end in December. That's right. However, actually, there's a couple of really interesting options for you if you are staying in Finland for a longer period of time and you want to study. We have something called Open University, avoin yliopisto in Finnish. Open University is basically as it is, open for everyone. They have a lot of, for example, summer courses. Some of them are paid, but for example, for a 6-week course in business, you would pay 50 euros. So it's super cheap, but it's just a barrier so that not that many people register there and then leave the course, not do the course. So the idea is to only get those people in who want to actually do the courses during the summer. So Open University, you just Google Aalto University or Aalto Open University, and you should get results in Google. Check that out. In addition, Aalto actually has a really cool entrepreneurship course that they set up. They have this really, really cool courses called Starting Up, which is basically the idea is to give tools to people who want to become entrepreneurs. It is open for everyone around the globe. It is free of charge, and for example, if you are studying in Finland, you could also get credits from it. I still haven't done it myself, but I'm intending on doing it because it's really, really interesting. But if you want to do it, check that out as well. I have the link in the live chat right now if you want to go and check that out. Let's see. Ahmed says, good choice for continuing on YouTube. Actually, you already gave a really good information. Wish you all the success. Thanks so much, dude. I really appreciate it. The only reason I've actually been continuing this channel is because you guys have been giving me such a good response. This is the point of this channel is to help you guys with the different topics that we cover, because I have so much experience myself, and I know that a lot of the things that I talk about in the channel or in the videos are not only difficult to find information on, but they are actually quite confusing. So I really love to hear that these are bringing value. Brian says, actually, it's quite normal that I cannot register, but I wonder if I can just join as a participant, of course, or not. Right. Yeah, that I already answered. Nayem asks, can I apply to Tampere University in Finland? How can I do that? At this point, if you are at a very early stage in considering Tampere University, I would just simply go to their website and check out the application process from there. They also have a pretty good website on the application requirements for every single degree program that they have. So at this point, I would recommend that you go and check that out because that is such a broad question. Hello. Thanks for answering my previous question. You're welcome. I'm considering an exchange in Helsinki in 2021 spring semester, and I'm curious about the daily lives, about the daily life here, and are they similar to before the current situation? So that is a very broad question. So if you have anything specific that you are interested in about the everyday life in Helsinki, I would love to answer that, but that's such a broad question that I'm really not able to perhaps answer that in a satisfactory manner. Shiam says, thank you very much. Can't forget your exchange vlogs though. Right. So actually this is funny. So if one of you is new to the channel, or you have only been following the channel since I started doing the videos about Finland, I actually did some, I think 20 exchange vlog videos from Germany when I was there doing my exchange studies in 2016. The problem was that wasn't really working, especially since I moved back to Finland in September of 2016. So there was no point of me continuing to discuss living in Germany because I wasn't there anymore. In addition, some people pointed out to me correctly that I was basically just copying Casey Neistat, which wasn't cool. So I thought that I would need to maybe change the format of the channel and the topics as well. So I hope that this works better. I am intending on doing vlogs from Finland as well, starting in September when I have more time to focus on the channel when I go full time. And I'm actually going to go on a hike in Lapland next Saturday. So the 5th of September, I'm going to be there for 1 week. And I'm going to do a couple of videos from there if you are interested in traveling in Finland, especially in Lapland. So that should be interesting. Dimple Verma says, your Munich videos made me come to Germany. Damn. I guess, no, cool. That's really cool that you actually went to Germany. Germany has really, really cool universities. They're extremely high, they are of extremely high quality. So that's really cool. Technical issues. First my battery died, then my mic muted itself. So what I was saying is that Germany is really cool. The schools there are excellent, very high quality. So I'm really happy that you actually went to Munich because of the vlogs. Joe says, I was actually thinking of taking a Finnish course through Open University in the summer before I start my studies. That is an excellent idea. I highly recommend it. Especially if you're able to find Open University courses on basic Finnish. That's a very good idea. I actually recommend it to everyone who is coming to Finland. Amy is asking, how's student life at Aalto? In general, it is excellent. Currently, we're in a bit of a rut because of the current situation. But I would say that student life and the student culture in Finland is, if not the number one, maybe the number two reason why I would recommend you guys coming to Finland. The level of education around the world is not that different, to be honest. The universities teach the same things. Sure, some universities have better professors than others, but what makes Finland very specifically great is the local student culture that we have here. One of the things that I did not like about Germany and Munich is that because of the local student or education system and the university system, students don't really have time to, for example, volunteer. It is not possible for them to do that because they have such pressure on actually passing all the courses. That is the complete opposite of Finland, because we have a very much more relaxed school system here, university system, and employees in Finland actually appreciate volunteer experience, which means that there's a huge amount of different organizations that you can volunteer in during your studies, and that is one of the reasons why I think that we have one of the best university systems in the world. Yeah, we also do really good in rankings as well, but still, the student culture is really important. All right, we got a couple of other questions from in the forum. Xiam is asking, Is there a problem I'm not able to view the live stream? Yes, my battery died in my camera. I did not charge my battery before this live stream. That was the reason why you couldn't see me for a while. I hope it works now. Arthur has another question. Oliver, was it difficult to be admitted to the bachelor's degree at Aalto University? Was it very competitive? Thanks. Yes, it was. Aalto University School of Business is the #1 school of business in Finland, and getting admitted to study there as a Finn, as a local native Finnish person, is very difficult. I think the admission percentage per year is somewhere around 10% or so. But what is and we have, for the exams, we have actually really rigorous entrance exams that we need to pass. The system has changed a bit since I applied 8 years ago, but it is still not easy to get in. So basically, the best students in Finland get into Aalto. However, what is important to note is that the application process and admissions system for Finnish students is completely separate and completely different from the way you guys would be applying to study in Finland. I don't have the time to explain the differences here now, but basically, in summary, we apply using our high school diploma as well as entrance exams, which are held in Finnish or Swedish, and the entrance exams are based on our high school curriculum, and they're modified for each university and degree. However, if you apply to a bachelor's degree as an international student and to a program that is taught in English, most universities use SATs for those admissions. So that's basically the biggest difference. So I hope that answered that question. If it didn't, please let me know and I will elaborate a bit more on the topic. Shiam again asks, I love the culture in Finland. If you would like to come out on the monotonous education-related questions, please talk about the unique Finnish culture, saunas, etc. Suggest some cool tourist destinations there that we have in Finland. This will motivate me to work hard to get to Finland. Thanks. Definitely. This is actually something that people have been requesting from me, and I would love to do it. There are a couple of videos that I do have planned for the future, and I will start vlogging at some point during next month as well. And I hope that will give you a bit more context on what it is like living in Finland and what kind of what is the culture like here. For now, there are so many different important topics to cover about education and the start of the semester. And for example, the job market starting in September and October, that I will not be able to post that many cultural related videos within the next couple of months, but I will get there. Don't worry. I have heard your requests. Amy asks, I'm planning to do an exchange program in next year at Aalto. What advice could you give to exchange students? By the way, love your channel. I love you being here. I'm serious. It's really cool that you guys are here with me live. It makes me really happy. Advice to exchange students. Take every single thing out of your experience here as humanly possible. Travel as much as you can, not only in Finland. There's a lot of really cool places to see in Finland, but also in the other Nordic countries as well. Of course, that's not possible right now, but I hope that it will be possible next year. There's a lot to see. There's a lot to do. And I would say that when you come here as an exchange student, unless it is specifically the culture in your country. The fact doing really, really well with courses is not the number one point when you come to do your exchange here, unless that is required by your university or your job culture, local job culture. When you come to Finland as an exchange student, we really want to make you feel comfortable and at home. And there are so many unique things about Finnish student culture that you should experience. That I really, really recommend that you go all out and enjoy everything that you can. Go and test different student parties, join different clubs, go to different events, travel with different student organizations. For example, I know that Aalto University has multiple student organizations that are meant specifically to help exchange students have a good time in Finland while they are here, and a lot of them organize, for example, trips to Lapland during the winter, which is really, really cool. So that would be my advice. All right, guys. If there's any one of you who just joined the stream, glad to have you here. If you are new to the channel, consider subscribing. We talk about education and early career development in Finland. Also, if you have any questions, please, I have a Google form link in the description box below. Please go and write your question down there. I will be able to answer your questions in a first come, first serve basis. The best that way, because the chat gets pretty busy at some point, at certain points. All right, we have a question from Hello. I wonder, right, so your question about the daily life in Finland, considered things like shopping, watching movies, going to a theater, eating out, and are these kind of things possible here in Helsinki these days? Partly. Movie theaters are closed, I think. I would guess so. The problem is that, of course, you're very close to other people physically, and that means that it's not really a good idea to go to a movie theater. Once things settle down, we actually have a lot of really cool movie theaters in Helsinki. I'm sure that you're going to enjoy them. Shopping, completely possible to do now, as long as you have a face mask on when you go to stores, especially if you're not doing, for example, groceries. Please wear a face mask to protect yourself and others. But totally possible. And actually, Helsinki has some really, really cool shopping opportunities. Eating out. Most restaurants in Helsinki are currently open with some restrictions, but they are open. In addition, there's actually a really cool trend in Helsinki that is purely because of the current situation, which is that, especially since we have had such a good summer, the weather has been excellent. It's been warm, and we haven't had that much rain. There's actually, the city of Helsinki has organized multiple large outdoor spaces where restaurants are able to serve their food, which is really, really cool, because some people are afraid of going inside restaurants, and they mostly get takeaway. And the fact that you're able to go and eat outside under the stars, basically, is really cool. It's a really cool experience. There's one actually at the biggest of these terraces is at the Helsinki Senate Square, where we have our the biggest church in Helsinki, and it's a really cool scenery to have dinner in. I hope that answered your question at least partly. If it didn't, please repost a question a bit more specific. Try to be as specific as possible so that I can answer your question that way. My good friend Joao is here once again with a question, another question. Have you ever thought about making a basic Finnish course or something related to learning Finnish? No. No, I haven't. I will not do it in the future. The one and only reason is that my Finnish grammar sucks. I'm really, really bad at Finnish grammar, and I don't want to make anyone pay me money for teaching them Finnish. There are multiple different apps that you can use to learn Finnish. For example, Duolingo has a good Finnish integration that just was released a couple of months ago. In addition, there are different services, for example, where you can get a Finnish teacher, as well as there's a couple of public services where, for example, official certified Finnish language teachers can teach you either privately or in a group. To become a language teacher in Finland, you need to actually have a master's degree in education. So those people at least know what they're doing. So I would really recommend checking some of them out. I have a video on the channel about the best tools to learn Finnish. Go and check that out. I have a lot of different links through there or in the description box in that video. So I'm sure that you're going to find at least some of them very useful. All right. We have a question from Julia. Julia? Is it Julia or Julia? Not sure. I'm at my final year of bachelor's in the Moscow State University. Oh, that's really cool. All right. So, hi, could you please elaborate on how applicants with dual citizenship enter the master's program in Finland? I possess both Finnish and Russian citizenship, but I've studied and lived my whole life in Russia. Now I'm willing to apply for a master's in Finland. So the question is, what will the admission process be like for me? That's a really good question. I have no idea. I have never actually gotten that question before. The thing is that if you do a bachelor's degree in Finland, or when you're applied to do a bachelor's degree in Finland, you're also automatically admitted to do your master's, unless you're studying at a University of Applied Sciences, where you only do your master's degree. Bachelor's degree. That means that, for example, when I transferred from my bachelor's to master's, I basically just filled one form and registered to courses. There was nothing else. But when you apply to a master's program as a dual citizen, basically as a Finnish citizen, I think you still have to go through the same application process. I actually don't know. So Julia, if you could, send me a DM on LinkedIn or Instagram, and I can try to find out and reply to you with better information, if that's okay. Cool. That's all the questions that I have in the form currently. If you guys have anything else to ask, or anything you want to ask about studying or living in Finland, please let me know, and I will get back to you, because there's no further questions in the form currently. Also, I would really like to know where you guys are from. So if you want to put in right in the chat your home country, and for example, what is your current situation? Are you studying in your home country, or are you yet to apply to do a bachelor's? I would really like to get to know you better. Joao, perfect. I will check that out. Excellent. Do check it out. It's going to be, I think you're going to enjoy. Sophie asks, do you know anything about this year's Fresher Week? And when planning to buy a new or used bike in Helsinki, where is a good place to look? Those are two excellent questions. First of all, the fresher week or orientation week is done mostly online, as at least in Aalto University. That is quite unfortunate. I'm sure that you guys are going to have some activities, especially with your tutor group, because those are usually 10 to 15 people. And I'm sure that you're able to, for example, get to know Helsinki a bit better with your tutor plus your other tutor group members. But the official opening week from Aalto University is done mostly online. They actually just sent the email today about some of the invites to some of the events. I'm sure that they're going to be cool. Not exactly the same experience, most likely, than before. But what can you do? And as I said in the beginning of the stream, Finnish students have a tendency on bouncing back quite hard. So so when we're done with the current situation, I'm sure that we're going to have a massive bleep party. I'm trying to censor myself not to get demonetized once I actually get monetized. But yeah, so that is mostly going to be online. I don't have that much information about it because the universities have not published that much info yet. When you're getting a bike, I would recommend that you get a used bike. Not only because there is, I think, there is no need on getting a new bike. Plus, second, there is actually quite a lot of bike thieves in Helsinki for some reason, especially during this summer. And if you buy a completely brand new bike, and you don't get a really good lock into it, it is quite likely that it's going to disappear at some point. So get a used bike. There's actually a service that I just mentioned a while ago. Let's see. Kierrätyskeskus, which is the recycling center in Helsinki. I recommend that you check them out. They have a web store for bikes, where you can find quite a lot of really good bikes. They usually get them used from do a bit of basic maintenance on the bikes, and then they resell them for new owners. Let me check. I will have you the link in the live chat in just a second. Web store is only in Finnish, but that should not matter because you can see the price range and you can see what kind of bikes they have. And then you can go and, for example, call them about the bikes if you want to buy one. So hope that helps. Cool. We have a new question in the forum. Shiam, thanks for actually posting questions, especially now that there's not that much activity. So language of instruction is a major concern for me. If my desired course is in Finnish, what should I do? Should I look for other universities that offer the same course in English, or should I learn Finnish? Also, is Finnish language certification needed for a visa? No, let's go with that first. No, a Finnish language certification is not needed for a residence permit for students. You actually don't need Finnish to live in Finland, period, especially if you're living in the metropolitan area, so basically Helsinki area. Most Finns do speak good English. Of course, you will get more out of your experience if you speak at least some Finnish, but that is not required at all. Learning Finnish in order to take Finnish taught classes, I do not recommend it, because not only would you need to learn Finnish to a almost native level, you would also need to learn the study subject terminology in Finnish as well, which is not going to be easy. Because, for example, I don't know most of my most of the business terminology in Finnish, because most of them are taught in English anyways. So if there are courses that are in Finnish only, but you would like to get them, at least you learn the same topic or subject, I would recommend that you go through the course listings once more and then once more again, because there's quite a lot of really cool courses in English, especially on a master's level. because the majority of master's courses in Finland nowadays are in English at most universities or in most universities. So I would take that into account. If you want to take a course in another university, you can actually do this using the flexible study right scheme. So basically, this means that all Finnish public universities are collaborating in this, meaning that you can basically take almost any courses at any universities for free of charge, as long as you are a registered student at one of the universities. However, you need to keep in mind that, for example, if you are a student of a business student and you want to take courses in arts and design or engineering, you cannot take courses that have prerequisites. For example, I would have wanted to do a lot of 3D printing at the Aalto University School of Engineering, but those courses required you to take a couple of math courses and, for example, physics courses before, and that wasn't possible, so I couldn't register for those 3D printing classes, unfortunately. So just keep this in mind as well. Cool. Any other questions that you guys have? If not, I think that we could start ending the stream in a moment. So if you have any questions left for today, do post them in the form, through the form, so that I can answer your last questions, and then I think I will end the stream for today. Also, if you have any concerns about remote studies, especially now during this fall semester, do let me know, and I will. I can try to comment on those concerns and maybe share you my personal experience through the last 6 months. All right, we have a couple of other new people who just joined the stream. What's up? Welcome to this live stream. I'm actually about to end the stream for today. However, if you have any questions about any topics around studying or living in Finland, I have a Google form link in the description box below. If you could post your questions through that, and I will be able to answer your questions here right away. All right, I think I have answered all the questions that we're going to get for today. So in that case, I'm going to start ending the stream. Thank you for everyone who joined us today live and on the replay. Again, if you have any questions about studying or building your early career in Finland, do post them either in the comment section on the replay or through the Google form link that I have in the description box below, so that I can either answer your questions in the next live stream, or I might even do a separate video about those topics in the future. Anyhow, thanks so much for joining us today. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.